the campus of the University of Iowa, an unprecedented presentation of the Women's Gymnastics Big Ten Championships. 8 teams, 2 sessions, and at the end of the night, 1 Big Ten champion. Hello out there, so happy to have you with us. Lisa Byington here, and with Nebraska being added to the Big Ten Conference, we now have 8 women's gymnastics teams, and we split this right down the middle. Here in the afternoon session, we will see seeds 5 through 8, and later tonight, we will see the top 4 seeds, and by the end of the night, like I said, we will crown a Big Ten champion. There is a gymnast who knows all too well about winning titles. She's been our analyst all season long. Kylie Caloric, and she was Kylie Bauderman just 1 year ago at Michigan. She won 3 individual titles on the floor, but she will tell you the most important was there. The 4 team titles she won in Michigan's 5th straight, and you're sporting a little bit of the hardware there, huh?
I am. It's exciting to be here another year, even though it's different circumstances.
Well, as I mentioned, with the 2 sessions, we still could see the actual champion come out of here, the afternoon session.
We could. University of Michigan, knowing their championship history, they've won 18 out of the last 20 Big Ten championships, so they're going to be a tough one to beat. Illinois has been doing great all year as well, and Iowa's the host team, so going to be some great competition today. Some
great competition, including the all-around competition, and who should we look for here this afternoon?
Junior Katie Zurales from Michigan is an All-American on vault, has a lot of experience. She helped take the team last year to the Super 6, so she's going to be up there. 2 girls from University of Illinois, Kelsey Joannides, she's a senior. She was on the team last year that took 3rd at Big Ten Championships, so I think her and teammate Alina are going to want to bump up this year a little bit and try to win that Big Ten. Alina coming off of a career high last weekend in the all-around at the Illinois State Classic. Both girls are going to be up there in the all-around competition.
Are you ready to make a little bit of history? 2 live sessions here at the Big Ten Championships. First rotation right around the corner. BTN Women's Gymnastics is brought to you by Alpha Factor. Compete with confidence. Oh, this is going to be a fun day. Our championship history, Michigan, 19 Big Ten championships, the last 5 in a row. We've got 9 perfect 10s. Maybe we'll see one here this afternoon or tonight. This is how it was broken down between the 8 teams. The top 4 teams you see there, we'll see later tonight. We will see right now, currently in this afternoon session, those seeds 5 through 8. But again, we could see our champion come out of this afternoon. Going through the head coaches, Michigan State's head coach Kathy Klages in her 22nd year. She told her team literally, we have no pressure. We are the 8th seed. Let's go out and have fun and win a championship around the way. Iowa's head coach Larissa Libby in her 8th year. She said a lot goes into hosting this event. She hopes her team has the concentration today to win a title. Over for the Illini. Let's go to Michigan first. Bev Blocky in her 22nd year, 5 straight titles. She's been down with injuries, her team has, but she says still, we understand there is a target on our back. And finally, for the Illini, Kim Landris in her 10th season. First as a head coach, she spent last year in the interim level. She got her team, though, last year to the 3rd place spot. We know what it's like to be at the podium, she says. We're getting close to here for our first rotation. Kylie, you said this is the beam with Shelby Gies. Kick-starting things off for us, the sophomore captain.
Nice duck dismount that we just walked in on. Looked like a great routine to me from what I saw.
Again, we're going to be bouncing around all afternoon long, 4 events going on all at the same time. We'll take another look at Gies' dismount.
She does a cartwheel to a 1.5. Doesn't move her feet at all. You can see her teammates in the corral there.
That is another change here for the championships. The teams have to stay in their respective corrals to cheer on their teams. We will join Sarah Fiedler here, just a sophomore for the Illini. They're on the floor. She was added to floor this year. She's been competing there all season long.
Sarah will also compete on bars and beam. Nice 1.5 punch front. I believe that's her third tumbling pass.
Next on beam for Michigan, Annette Miele.
So Fiedler wraps things up for the Illini there on the floor. Kim Landress said it's not really a benefit or a detriment to start on the floor. Certainly have to have the energy level up when that's your first event. We head back over to MSU's Jillian Carr. This is live. She is in place of Dani Levy in the leadoff spot there. That means Michigan State will not compete with an all-around gymnast here this afternoon.
Jillian does a front handspring, pike front, nails it. Great leadoff vault for Michigan State.
Michigan State with the home rotation. And all these rotations came with a blind draw. But take another look here at Carr's vault.
She gets a nice block on the table. Her hands are on the front of the table, and it lets her get a nice distance off of it.
So the sophomore getting things started right here for the Spartans. Alina Cartwright, you see her talking to her. She will be second there on the vault. And we head over to the bars for Iowa. Jordan Eslinger, a senior, the emotional leader. You want to get this team up? This is who you're looking at to do it, out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Marissa says she's the heart of the team. This is the only event she'll compete this afternoon.
Eslinger, a senior. This is a great event, Larissa Libby said to start out with, and look at the crowd who's come out. Tell me what it's like here to compete in something like this, Kylie.
I think Big Tens is always the most exciting meet of the year, in my experience at least. Always a good crowd and a lot of fun.
And obviously the one time that all 8 teams are here in one spot as we look at Jordan's bar routine.
Jordan starts with a blind full pirouette into her release move, a ginger, right into an immediate overshoot. She kind of slipped her hand on the low bar there, making her touch her foot on the ground. There will be a small deduction. And a double tuck dismount.
So Iowa, a very young team. Jordan, like I said, is a senior, trying to lead the way here by example.
The double tuck dismount, overdoes it a little bit and just has to take a little step backwards.
So Eslinger will wait for her score there on the bars, gets a hug from the assistant coach. So we talked about the switch up in formats here as we look at Bev Clocky from Michigan. How does this benefit the athlete, Kylie?
There's not as much downtime. Last year there were 7 teams, only 4 events going at a time, so you would be sitting, getting cold for a whole rotation, and you would have to stay warm and do jumping jacks in the locker room. So this is easier on the athlete. There's not as much downtime.
Picking up Joanna Sampson's beam routine here. She's in the 3rd slot here for Michigan, one of the all-arounders for the Wolverines. Tied for the all-around title last weekend against Michigan State with her teammate Katie Zurales.
Starts off with a flip-flop layout. Very pretty. Very solid athlete Joanna is. Michigan actually went 49-1-5 last week against Michigan State on beam, which is a season high for them. So hopefully they can use that momentum and continue it this afternoon.
Sampson has won the all-around 4 times this year, including last weekend.
Nice solid side aerial that Joanna just did. And ends with a gainer full dismount. Small hop on the landing, but overall very solid routine for Michigan.
So Sampson's got one event under her belt.
We see the dismount here, kick, gainer full. A little short, her chest is a little bit low, making her take that little hop.
Tesla Cox, we're rejoining here for Iowa on the bars in the 3rd slot, a sophomore.
going to end with a blindfold pirouette into a double tuck, little hop on the dismount. Larissa said she hurt her ankle this week in practice on Monday during a dismount on bars. They saw it shift a little bit. You might see her putting a little more pressure on the untaped ankle than on the taped ankle.
Right.
It's going to take her out of the vault lineup this afternoon. She usually competes 3 events, but will most likely only be doing 2.
I passed by her just casually before this event whole started, and she said, I can't even believe I can't walk. I can't believe I'm competing here. Going back to Alina Cartwright moments ago here on the vault for Michigan State.
Big, dynamic Yurchenko full. She gets so much distance. We saw this last weekend as well. She gets so much distance, she's almost off of the mat. Nice block, nice body position in the air. And after that hop, she's on the very edge of that mat there, as you can see.
The first of 2 events for Alina Cartwright. We will also see her on the bars for Michigan State. Again, no all-arounder for the Spartans. Dani Levy taken out of the vault competition. Some of the delay here is waiting on the judges figuring out their scores. There's actually more judges here for the Big Ten Championships than you normally see in these events during a dual meet or a regular competition during the regular season.
There's usually only 2 judges in a regular competition meet. You average the 2. At Big Tens, there's 4 judges. You drop the high score, you drop the low score, and you average the middle 2.
So Katie Zurales here on the beam, a junior. We talked about her in the open, one of the all-rounders to keep your eye on.
Katie took 2nd last year on beam at Big Tens. Has a very difficult series here. An aerial, back handspring step out, little balance check, but she's on. Split jump. Katie has a very short routine, but difficult routine.
Zurales, one of those breakout gymnasts. Never competed in the all-around until this year, her junior season. Had to do it because of all the injuries the Wolverines have suffered here all season long.
They have to manage her gymnastics in the gym every day so that she's able to compete all 4 every weekend.
Zurales in her dismount.
Stuck double full dismount. Great routine for Katie. She gets a nice pop, you can see, off of her toes, uses her arms to set. A little bit of a chest down on the landing, but she doesn't move her feet.
Kelsey Joannides over on the floor for Illinois. A first-team All-Big Ten selection. Coach says she's a great leader in all of the events that she competes on. A senior gets a chance to get her team started off on the right foot here on the floor.
She got a career high last weekend at the Iowa Classic at 9.9, so see what she can do this afternoon for her team. Starts off with a huge double tuck. Kelsey's a very pretty gymnast. She has nice lines, nice toe point, and she uses that to her advantage.
First team All-Big Ten selection is actually the first time in her career she has been awarded that. But the third career All-Big Ten honor, I should say. She was second team All-Big Ten in 2009 and 2011.
Gears up for her second pass. Front handspring, front layout. Nice combination pass. Flawless. I didn't see any deduction in that.
Eight scores over 39 this year. Final pass.
Ends with a nice double pike, overdoes it a little bit, and she kind of has to slide that front foot, but other than that, it was a great routine for Kelsey.
Joannides in the books. Take another look at her last pass.
Gets off of her hands nicely in that back handspring and just slides that front foot a little bit.
So over to the beam, Sachi Sugiyama. She's in the 5th spot here for the beam, a freshman, all-arounder, making a real impact here for the Wolverines.
Doing the all-around, 8 out of 10 meets this season, I believe, and is doing a great job for Michigan. Had to fill in a few roles from those injured athletes. She's taking it like a champ, like she has all the experience in the world. Nice switch side.
Certainly a freshman of the year candidate here from Michigan.
We won't find out those results until after the evening session today. Pike jump into a back layout step out. Gears up for her dismount. She does a double twist. Round off, double twist, slight hop. Great routine for Sachi. I believe that's 5 nailed routines.
We head back over to the floor now. Alina Weinstein, a junior. Illini really backload this lineup here on the floor with Joannides, Weinstein, and then you'll see Amber C in that 6th anchor spot.
Alina starts with a tuck pull in, huge opening pass. She was competing double pike for her first pass at the beginning of the season and just added that recently.
Already her music adds a different sort of energy than Joannides' routine.
That was a Rudy back layout step out. She looks like she's having a good time out there.
Which is key for this event. You gotta sell it to the judges.
Alina has a 9.9 career high on this event.
2nd team All Big Ten. First time in her career for that.
She's currently ranked 5th in the all-around in the Big Ten. She can put up some big scores, so we'll see if she's having an on day.
Yeah, in the all-around, she's had 7 scores this year, over 39.
Ends with a beautiful double tuck. Very nice routine.
So 2 of Illini's big guns now done here on the floor. We head back over to the bars in Iowa, and Jessa Hansen, what a great story. An all-arounder for the Hawkeyes, a senior in the preseason. She was injured. Her legs were slow to get back. The silent leader. Here she is on the bars.
Starts off with a nice Jaeger release move. Bail handstand. Has a very difficult dismount we're about to see here. Double layout dismount. She can twist that dismount actually, which we've seen her do, but
she chose not
simple,
to. Yeah.
Nice clean double layout. Nice taps going into the dismount. Releases, opens a little bit early, making her take that step forward, but great routine.
Going back to the vault and Michigan State's big gun, Taira Neal, a redshirt sophomore. Fun to watch, the best one here for the Spartans.
Career high 9.925. We probably won't see that on this vault, but she just has such a dynamic vault. It's fun to watch, especially when she can stick it.
She's tied her career high the last 2 weeks. Take another look.
Gets off of her hands nicely. Really flares out that full.
Amber C in the anchor spot here for Illinois. Also a 2nd team All Big Ten selection. The 4th best RQS on the floor. 19th in the country.
Amber also will compete in vault and beam today. Front double full, punch front. Very nice opening pass. Her and Alina are the only two to open with something other than a double back. Nice to see some variety.
Again, a high energy, fun music that adds to the routine.
Illinois tied with Iowa in January, Michigan State in February, and besides one tie last year, hasn't been a really long time since that many ties have happened.
See, with a team high 6-4 titles this year. Scored a 9.825 or higher on the floor. 10 of the 11 meets. She gears up for her final pass.
A nice front handspring front Rudy. Looked like a solid 6 routines for Illinois on floor.
The Illini wrap that up. Her teammates love it.
This concludes our first rotation. Gymnasts, please prepare the line to your next event.
Illinois finishing 3rd last year. Take another look at Amber C's final pass.
Very good front twister, Amber is. That's a front full and a half and nails it.
That'll wrap up our first rotation. We've got plenty more to go. In fact, 3 more to go. Stick with us. Coming up right around the corner. BTN goes where you want, when you want it. With BTN to Go, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Watch live games, BTN original programming on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. BTN to Go available at no extra charge to subscribers with the appropriate video providers. To learn more, visit btntogo.com. Also available on the App Store. You know, if your parents, Kylie, had an iPad or an iPhone, they could just sit in the RV back in the and use BTN to Go in the parking lot. And I think I see your dad right there.
That is.
The weird-looking guy in the split.
That's the shirt I made in my freshman year when I told him you can't just wear an Illinois shirt. I'm at school now too.
Well, right. Well, you know that you went to Michigan. Your 2 sisters competed at Illinois, right?
Yep.
So the Mish-Noi
Yeah.
T-shirt. I like it. Apparatus results after the first rotation. There you look at it. Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, and Michigan State.
Everybody put up around the same score on each event.
And here's how they did team by team wise. Michigan State on the vault. We saw Taira Neal there. No surprise that she's at the top of the list again for the Spartans.
Exactly. She's definitely the standout vault performer for State.
Over to the bar results. Emma Stevenson, the top gym hawk there for Iowa.
Jessa Hansen as well, both put up 9.8 and higher. Overall, great first rotation.
Over to Michigan in the beam results. Annette Miele, a 9.8.
Under her, 4 9.7s or higher. Great 6 scores.
Back-to-back weekends, Michigan has been solid there on the beam. Last weekend's against Michigan State, and then we saw Illinois on the floor putting up some big numbers there on the floor after the first rotation.
Big numbers and very entertaining routines from Illinois on floor.
So that sets us up for our second rotation, and we found a celebrity in the house, Shawn Johnson, the 2008 Olympic gold medalist, besides you, of course, Kylie.
Thanks.
She won the gold there for the beam in the 2008 Olympics. She was the silver medalist in the all-around and on the floor. And she is here because her buddy, Jessa Hansen, who competes for Iowa, they were training buddies at the same gymnasium, Chow's Gym in Des Moines, Iowa. That's how they got to know each other when they were 6 years old and 8 years old. And so she is here to watch Jessa Hansen compete in her final Big Ten Gymnastics Championship.
You think I can get her autograph, Lisa?
You know, you might be able to pull that one off. I don't know. We got to flag her down, though, to get her down here.
The University of Iowa.
1:30 Central Time here. Here's your reset again after your first rotation.
48.725. And Michigan State, 48.80.
Illinois with the high on floor there.
Going back to one of those high scores there, we mentioned Annette Miele of Michigan. She had the high score for the Wolverines on beam. We didn't show it to you then, but let's look at her routine and bits of it.
Nice side summy there from Annette. She's a very solid and aggressive beam worker. And a Rudy dismount. Very difficult. Get some love from her teammates.
So Michigan has won 5 straight Big Ten championships. When we talked to head coach Ben Baki, she had said, you know what? I know that sometimes teams are sick of the same team winning the title, but it's not my job to make it easier, right? I mean, I know that they've battled some injuries and that sort of thing, but she said, you know what? I understand there's a target on my back, and she turned around, she showed us her back. She said, it's right there. So talk about what that is like to compete when people are gunning for you.
I always used it to my advantage and tried to explain to the team as well. Use it to your advantage. If people don't like you and they look at you different because you've won the last so many years, use it to your advantage and show them why you've won all those years and say, hey, I'm going to win again.
Well, Michigan started out on the beam, now moves over to the floor. Illinois moves to the vault, Michigan State to the bars, and Iowa heads on over to the beam. That is also a spot that the Hawkeyes have struggled with. But we head to the floor where the freshman Sachi Sugiyama competes.
Gearing up for her first pass, Sachi starts off with a 2.5 twist. Nails it.
Competed in the all-around in every meet. Pretty impressive for a freshman.
Here goes Sachi's combination pass. She does a nice front full to a front layout. Michigan sporting some new leotards today. Takes a deep breath before her last pass and ends here with a nice double pike. Great leadoff routine. Hopefully get things on the right track for Michigan.
A moment ago, we head over to Iowa on the beam. Tesla Cox, what a story this is. Keep an eye on that ankle. Her coach even thought that she dislocated it this week. Wasn't sure she'd be able to even compete here on beam.
She said, Coach, I'm fine. Let me in. Let me compete.
Like I said, I ran into her before the start. She said, I can even barely walk. We'll try to perform then on 4 inches of wood.
When the team needs you, an athlete just gets in that mindset and whatever hurts stops hurting for the 1.5 minutes that you're up on the apparatus. Beautiful leap, switch leap to a split 3/4. Especially the leadoff spot. This is her job to get the beam squad going on the right foot. Nice punch front there.
And her dismount.
Such a 4.5. You would never know.
Look at that emotion. It's great.
She's excited. You would never know that her ankle's bothering her like it is.
Oh, had to be holding her breath on that.
She almost landed all on her left foot there.
Man, oh man, courage. Tesla Cox, the sophomore. Wow. Moments ago, heading over to the vault for the Alina, Jaclyn Kantecki, the junior.
Also going to be competing on bars and beam today. Nice Yurchenko full, a little pike down, and also a little bit off to the side. She had to take a step off of the mat, which will be a slight deduction.
What created her falling off to the side?
Maybe her round off before she even started the back handspring in the full, her round off could have been a little bit off. If I had to guess, I would say that's where it came from.
A good crowd here in Iowa City. For the first time, 8 Big Ten teams competing for the championships, and it is providing some high energy here in the second rotation. Again, after the first rotation, here are your numbers. Illinois leading the way there on floor.
Not by much. You really can't tell after the first rotation. You know, they still have 3 more to go. All kind of on the same page still.
4 programs have won the conference championships, along with Michigan, who we mentioned, have won 5 straight. Ohio State, Minnesota, and Illinois, like we had talked about way back when.
1990, I believe.
You can look back into the history, and the head coach, Kim Landers, can look back into the history and say, look, girls, we've done this before as a program, probably before everyone was born, but we have done it. We do have this history. And be proud of that. Ohio State has won 5, Minnesota with 5, but Michigan with 19 championships. Emma Willis moments ago on the beam for Iowa.
Only all-arounder today. Emma has a nice solid look to her on beam. Nice punch front. Nice height on it. I'm sorry, not the only all-arounder, Jessa Hansen as well. The both of them will be doing all around today. Switch leap to a back tuck. Looks calm up there. Gainer, fold, just now stuck. There's a little pat leap into it.
And this is big time. She gets a huge hug from Larissa Levy, and she said, we have been inconsistent on the beam, and they're coming through. A flashback, real quick. Amber C, tied for first on the vault. Last year with a 9-9. That was last year. This is present day Amber C. Let's see what she can do here this afternoon.
And it's such a unique vault. No other gymnast here today, even in the evening session, does this vault.
What do we look forward to see here?
It's a front handspring tuck full. She's flipping herself forward. Some other girls go forward. That's not the thing. They do halves, though. She does a full. It's extremely difficult, and it's a blind landing. You're forwards. You can't see the ground before you land.
What does she need to make sure she does on a blind landing?
I never did frontward skills, so she'll tell you right here. Beautiful vault. A little step to the side. Nice height, nice distance. Fun to watch.
Amber C.
Nice block off the table. A little leg separation, but she almost uses that to help her twist in the air.
She's happy. Headed back over to Michigan, and on the floor, Katie Zurales, the junior. The first all Big Ten honoree. First team, first of her career.
A lot of injuries in Katie's past. Like we talked about on beam, has to manage her gymnastics in the gym every day.
Beth Blocky said that we have not really talked about titles and championships. We can control what we can control, but we really have to define meet in and meet out with all our injuries. What is our own definition of success? And it seems to be working for them here down the stretch.
She said their #1 goal is to have fun. The last couple meets they've been saying, just relax, have fun out there, and the success will come if you let it.
Zurales, here we go.
Always has that big smile on her face. Katie opens with a big double pike. And scoots right back into the corner to do her second tumbling pass. Full and a half, front layout, beautiful. I don't know if you can see her team in the corral back there, but they're all doing her dance moves with her.
Which is different. There you can see it in the background, they're standing there. And it's different because usually in the regular season, you can kind of line the mat a little bit.
Yep, they're very strict with nobody's allowed out of the corral unless you're the next one up. Helps, especially when the Big Ten Network is there. You know, your sole focus is on the athlete that's competing on the floor.
Zurales in her pass.
Front full tuck front. A little bit under rotated than I normally see from Katie. But a great routine, and she's happy with it.
On beam for Iowa, Emily DeGraff.
Going back to Alina Weinstein in the anchor spot for Illinois.
Alina does a very pretty Yurchenko full. I'm really impressed with her height that she gets. Every time I see this vault, she's sky high. Body position is perfect.
Pardon my correction, she is in the 5th spot there. Kelsey Joannides will be in the anchor spot for Illinois in the vault. Weinstein set a career high this year in that event, a 9.875. Looking at Joanna Sampson, who tied for 2nd in this event last year. Waiting on her turn. She had upgraded her first pass. What do we look for in that, Kylie?
She does a half in, half out, you'll see in her first pass. Very dynamic. She used to do a double twist to a punch layout, which was very unique. You didn't see that very often, but this definitely gives her routine a little bit more of the difficulty with the full in.
I had mentioned Joannides there on the vault for Illinois. She won in 09. That's the winner. And here she is now, moments ago. The 2012 version.
Joannides does a Yurchenko full.
Wow, indeed. We got a score for that too. She recorded her season high on that vault, a 9.875.
Beautiful vault.
Joanna Sampson, a story in herself, at 101.5 temperature this week. And here she is competing, Kylie.
She is. When she gets it in her head that she's okay and nothing's wrong with her, don't even ask.
I think that Blocky called her a bull. She's going to will herself to win and compete, she said.
Exactly. Her roommate, Kristen Nagel, who tore her ACL this year, has strep, so hopefully She doesn't have strep competing today.
Well, the quick test came out negative on that. She's taken some antibiotics, but again, man, competing in the Big Ten Championships after 101.5 temperature.
Nice 2 opening passes from Joanna. We saw the half and half out landed a little bit short. And that second pass was front layout, full punch front layout. Gears up for her final tumbling pass. Double pike.
Zurales down, Sampson down.
On bars for Michigan State, Dani. And on beach for Iowa, Zakharia.
Heading back over to Michigan State there on the bars, Dani Levy. This is actually the first time we see her this afternoon. She was pulled from the vaults. Normally Michigan State's only all-arounder.
Dani starts off here with a blind half pirouette into a pike Jaeger. Nice handstand work there. And that's a blind change to a straddle back handstand. She does the straddle back with a reverse grip coming from the high bar. And ends here with a tuck full out, dismount, a little step back, but very difficult routine.
A steady performer, the sophomore. For the Spartans, she's in that 4th spot there in the bar rotation there for Michigan State. Taking a look at Kathy Klages, who basically said, we have no pressure, guys. We have secured our spot for regionals. We can't be bumped out. Let's have fun. For Pete's sakes, we're the 8th seed in the Big Ten. Let's just go out and have fun.
And so far, it's working.
Yes. The anchor spot for Michigan on the floor. Reema Zakharia, a sophomore in the NCAA. She was the regional runner-up last year on this event. This is her main event.
Reema dislocated her elbow for the 2nd time this year, so struggled coming back from that a little bit, but she's back and doing great.
Or limited the amount of events she can do.
Opens here with a difficult double front. Overdoes it a little bit. I don't think she dragged her knee, but that will be a deduction there. Maybe she's just too excited. She has so much energy.
Well, the energy is picking up here in this building. More fans kind of trickling in here. You got to wonder how many evening session fans are starting to come in. Take a little look-see at these gymnasts here this afternoon.
Nice second pass, front full, punch front layout. Gearing up here for her 3rd pass. Last weekend she had a little mistake on it, opened up early. Instead she injured her ankle a little bit. It's a little sore, you see it taped up there. No flaws here, nails that last half with a double pike.
Reema Zakharia then finishing strong here on the floor routine. Go back to the one pass where we don't think her knee hit the floor.
Front double front, she's sky high.
Ooh, she held up.
Just had to drag that foot a little bit forwards, but.
We go back to Jessa Hansen live here on the beam for Iowa. Has that celebrity fan in the building, Sean Johnson, watching her training buddy.
Marissa said this is the event that's going to make or break this competition today for them, and so far they've been just nailing their beam routines.
Whoa!
I spoke too soon. Just a little balance check there.
Jessa Hansen, a two-time All-Big Ten selection. Not this year. She had battled some injuries.
Beautiful scale, shows her flexibility to the judges. Cat leap into a side aerial landing sideways. I wouldn't say it's a side summy. She didn't grab her legs, but awesome dismount, gainer full.
Wow, Iowa has come to play on the beam, what we've seen so far.
Just a little off balance there. She drops her arm, but figures out how to control it.
And Coach Levy has got to be happy with that, but 2 rotations down. We got 2 more to go. Halfway, folks. Keep it here. Of the 2012 Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championships will continue tonight, session 2, we like to call it. Minnesota, Nebraska, Ohio State, and Penn State, all coming your way at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight, and it's live, and it's only on BTN. We have your results here in the second rotation. Illinois vault results there. Amber C, we got to see here a 9-9 for Miss C.
She looked great. So did Kelsey, so did Alina. They all had great vault rotation.
Going down to Jackie Berg and your buddy after the second rotation, leading the way for the Spartans with a 9.825. And for the beam, Jessa Hansen a 9.8. And the emotional Tesla Cox, as we saw, a 9.725 there for Iowa. Solid performances for Iowa, which is huge for the Gymhawks. Katie Zurales leading the way there on the floor, followed by Annette Miele, Sachi Sugiyama, and Joanna Sampson. So after 2 rotations, here are your numbers here for all 4 teams competing. Jackie Berg on the bars from the last rotation. This is the second rotation here. The strongest worker on the bars for the Spartans, a 3-event specialist.
Jackie starts with a blind into a pike Jaeger, immediate overshoot. There's really nice lines on this event. Huge double layout and sticks the dismount. That's why she anchors that event.
I love it. I got to see Jackie a little bit here before this thing started. I said, it's your last event. How's it feel? She said, I want to think about that. But we're halfway through here. Lisa Weinstein alongside Kylie Kalork, the Michigan All-American. And 2 rotations down. What are your impressions so far?
Everybody's doing really well. I feel like they had a few this last event, a few mistakes, but Amber C's vault really impressed me.
Yeah, right. Tell me how this new format now is working in terms of, I know you're not competing in it, but from a fan's perspective, a broadcaster's perspective, how do you think it's working so far this afternoon?
I mean, so far so good from what I see. They don't have to sit down and get cold. Everybody's still warm from the last events that they just did, and they're just moving along. It's like a regular home competition that they're used to.
Well, we got the third rotation here coming up. Michigan to the vault, Illinois to the bars, Michigan State to the beam, and Iowa on the floor. What are you looking forward to here in this third rotation?
Iowa on floor, I think. We're in their home arena with their home crowd. I think it's going to be an exciting one.
And how important for the Gymhawks is it for Larissa Libby to see her team perform the way it did on the beam? And she had talked to us before about, man, this is where we struggle. This is our challenge on this event. How much momentum now do they bring going off of the beam? She's having a good time and smiling. And now participating here on the floor.
It can only give them confidence and motivation going on. They got that event out of the way and nailed it. Not even just got it out of the way. They did great on it, so they can only get better from there. They know they can perform well on floor in their last event vault.
Team standings, we had talked about how this is divided into 2 sessions right now. The seeds 5 through 8 competing in this afternoon session. The evening session there, the top 4 seeds, and it really came down to the final weekend between Minnesota and Michigan, between those 2 teams, to figure out who is going to be competing there in the evening session.
So the RQS is the regional qualifying score. It's based on 3 home scores, 3 away scores. You drop your high score and you average the rest. That's how they calculate that number right there. It's not just an average. Minnesota was definitely excited that they nailed last weekend in Denver.
They were thrilled. They were absolutely thrilled. Here's a couple of scoring tweaks here. We'll show you in this first session after 2 rotations. Macy Hyatt, quite a story for Illinois, competing here on the bars. How many times has she done this year? Oh, just once.
And she's back.
And she's back. The first week of the regular season, and now here in the Big Ten Championships.
Starts off with the free hip into a blind full pirouette, blind half pirouette, fail handstand on the low bar. Gears up for her dismount and ends with a tuck roll out.
It's like she's been doing it all week and all season.
Great routine to get Illinois started on bars, that's for sure.
Heading over to the beam for Michigan State, Dani Levy, a sophomore. Now this is an event, we talked about the importance for this event for Iowa. How important is this event here for Michigan State?
It's very important. I think beam is always an important event, no matter what team you are, even if it's your best event, your worst event, it's always better in your mind once it's over with.
But coming off last weekend, Michigan State had 4 gymnasts who fell in the beam rotation. What do they have to do then to get mentally back into it? Just jinxed her there.
You might have. She just looked a little bit off balance on the front tuck and sat down to the side. 2 weeks ago, Michigan State had their season high on beam, and last week almost a season low, so they've just been really inconsistent on this event. Not exciting for the rest of their lineup that the first girl just fell, but they have to forget about it. They still have 5 gymnasts to go that can nail routines right now, and that's what they have to be thinking.
Such a mental battle. Something that Michigan State was battling last weekend.
Ends here with a unique dismount, back handspring layout, step out into a layout full, and sticks her dismount.
So she finishes strong, but not happy there with that full. Annette Miele here for Michigan, back over on the vault, a freshman.
This is only the 2nd time for her competing a full. And it's beautiful. She does a tiny little hop, but she can do a more difficult vault than this. It hadn't been working out, so Coach Shannon said, let's water it down a little here. Nice block, nice body position. And pretty much almost sticks it.
A watered down routine? How about a career high routine? A 9.8 there for Annette Miele just moments ago. That was following tying a season high for Stephanie Colbert, her teammate, with a 9.825 on that event. So Michigan coming strong there on the vault. We head over to the floor. Rachel Corcoran, a senior, recorded a career high on this event earlier this season against Penn State.
Entertaining music here. Whole crowd is clapping for her.
You had said that could be a factor with this home crowd here. That's why you like to host these events. And the floor is where the crowd really gets into it.
Definitely use it to your advantage when you're out there. You don't realize how tired you are. Beautiful front, full front layout. gymnasts have numbers on their back. I don't know if you've noticed that. Regular competitions, they don't, but postseason, Big Tens, regionals, nationals, every gymnast has to have a number showing at all times. Ends here with a 4.5 to a front layout. Third pass nailed.
Rachel Corcoran having a good time there for Iowa. And a moment to go. The Alina's Kelsey Joannides on the bars, a senior. The coaches said she has made the most growth in the bars.
I would say so. She has a season and career high of a 9.9 this year.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
That's pretty good.
Saw her earlier. Coach Lander said she upgraded her dismount. What do we see here with the dismount coming?
I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing a double layout, but she might prove me wrong.
Might surprise you, huh?
Beautiful routine thus far.
There it is.
And
no
she
tricks.
sticks it. No tricks.
They were thinking of upgrading it. Go back to looking at the dismount.
Nice tap. Legs stay together the whole time, and she doesn't move her feet.
Kelsey Joannides coming strong. Heading back over to another all-arounder, Michigan's Katie Zurales.
Katie's an All-American on this event. Little hop, but huge distance. It's just such a dynamic vault from Katie. Nice pop off the table, lets it rise a little bit.
Zurales recording a 9.875 on that vault.
From what I saw, it looked like the Michigan girls were just sticking all of those vaults over there.
Heading back over to the vault just moments ago, Joanna Sampson, the sophomore, the NCAA regional champ from last year on this event.
Nailed it. I think that's the one I saw out of the corner of my eye a minute ago. Beautiful vault from Joanna.
Look at the replay.
Just gets off of her hands at the right time and opens up at the perfect time.
Sampson recording a 9.925 and a couple hugs from her teammates. So we have a 9.825, a 9.8, a 9.875, a 9.925 so far here for the Michigan Wolverines on the vault.
They needed it. They didn't have a spectacular floor performance, so I think this will help them get back up to where the other teams are right now.
Looking at the first session here, the first of two going on. Never happened before here in the Big Ten, or if you're on the network, we're happy to bring it to you live for both sessions. All 8 teams here had a banquet here last night.
I saw pictures on Facebook already.
You did?
I did.
Already? Sachi Sugiyama, who has competed in at least 3 events every week here this season. I correct myself on the... Pretty good, though.
Nails the 4.5. Very difficult vault. That's also a blind landing.
That was a career high, too, a 9.950 for Sugiyama as we look at Alina Weinstein here for Illinois.
Blind full into a very high Takachev from Alina.
This is her favorite event, a junior.
She went 9.875 last weekend to help her to that all-around career high. But her career high on bars is a spectacular 9.925.
Woo! I love it.
Nice double front dismount, and she sticks it. Gives the crowd a little fist pump. Blind change. Lets her heels rise and opens up at the right time to stick that dismount.
We'll go back and finish up the vaults with Reema Zakharia. This is her 5th appearance on the vault and a sophomore here for the Wolverines.
different entry vault than the rest of them. She does a front handspring pike front. Has so much power. She had to take a little hop forwards there.
She records a 9.675. So how about this for a team total here on the vault for Michigan? 49.375 there on the vault.
It's a great score for them. They're ranked 4th in the Big Ten right now on that event.
Jackie Berg getting on the beam here for Michigan State. She was one of the gymnasts who stepped up last weekend when the Spartans struggled. Let's see what the senior can do here for her team this afternoon.
Jackie has a very difficult flight series. Back handspring, layout, step out. And she's right on.
Berg, one of 2 gymnasts, including Taira Neal, who had a few words with her team after that Michigan dual meet last weekend and just basically said, look, this is not acceptable for us. The senior speaking up, and Taira Neal, the sophomore, also speaking up.
Switch link to a straddle quarter. Very focused up there, Jackie is. We used to go back to our club gym UGA and train together over the summers a little bit. And now she's going to be done after this year. So I said, we better be getting together.
Goes by fast.
Nice cartwheel gainer, full dismount. A few foot movements there on the ground.
A moment ago, Jaclyn Kantecki for Illinois. Her teammate, Alina Weinstein, tying her season high with a 9.875. Moments before Jaclyn.
Kim says they've competed 9 different girls on this event this season. Beautiful delchive into an immediate overshoot from Jaclyn. This is her event. Difficult dismount coming up here, a tuck pull out, slight hop on the landing, but overall I think that was a great 6 scores.
Clap of the hands.
Illinois.
I think she was happy with that one.
Tap right into her tuck pull out, more like a half in, half out, but great dismount.
Heading back over to the floor, we'll take a look at Emma Stevenson.
Gears up for her first pass, a front double fold. She's a great front twister, as you'll see throughout this routine. Keeping the energy up.
Hit a 9.9 against Penn State. That was mid-season.
Round off, full and a half to a front layout. That's her combination pass there. Emma's actually teammates, old teammates and best friends with Katie Zurales from University of Michigan.
I see.
Both from Illinois.
The gymnastics world is very small.
Front Rudy for her third tumbling pass.
So Emma Stevenson wraps it up.
5 down, 1 to go.
Iowa, man, the Gym Hawks are fired up about their performance so far this afternoon.
I did, I loved it.
You could even hear that. I loved it, Larissa Levy says. Man, oh man. You know, Coach Levy didn't know what to expect about her team. It's been fairly young. Take a look at the... She hasn't come down here. Sean Johnson hasn't come down here yet for an autograph session with you.
I know. Well, I'll need to stalk her down after the meet or something to.
Well, she's here to watch Jessa Hansen,
signature.
who is actually up next on the floor. She's a senior. This is her final Big Ten championships. And if you missed the story and the connection between the two earlier, they've been training buddies since they were very young. 6 years old and 8 years old, I think, is what they were when they first met. In a club in Des Moines, Iowa, and here is Hansen.
This will be an entertaining one, I promise.
I'll hold you to that.
Starts off with a difficult punch, double front.
Flirting with that out of bounds line a little bit.
She was, but stayed in, no deduction there.
Hansen's parents found a flyer advertising the training at this Chow's Gymnasium in Des Moines. Shawn Johnson was training there, and then she became a Hawkeye, and they've been friends since. Shawn Johnson was 6, Jessa Hansen 8. Actually, 8 years old is late for a gymnast.
She could have been there for a while and started there earlier. I mean, started at a different gym. Larissa says that she's more confident in her gymnastics than the last time we saw her. We talked about getting over injuries and she's stronger and healthier. Not only that, she's more confident and more comfortable in the routines that she's doing.
She's got that oh, she's got a smile. Okay, here we go, final pass. She liked it. If she gets a smile out of a gold medalist, it's got to be good.
It's got to be good. Last tumbling pass we see here. Front full to front layout.
This concludes our third rotation. Gymnasts, please prepare to march to your next event.
Great way to wrap up the floor.
And that wraps her rotation up. It's a senior. Last time she'll be on the mat here. This is what everyone is competing for, folks. One more rotation here in the afternoon session. Keep it here. BTN Women's Gymnastics is brought to you by Alpha Factor. Compete with confidence. That is exactly what 4 of the 8 Big Ten women's gymnastics teams are doing here in this afternoon session. Though it is not the evening session, you could see an eventual champion come out of this session. Here are your vault results, and impressive. A total of a 49.375 for Michigan.
Sachi with a 9.95. That's a huge score for a freshman.
A career high, a couple of season highs there for Illinois, 49.1, including Macy Hyatt and her first showing here and her first appearance since that first week of the regular season. Heading over to beam, Serena Bumbarger at 9.8. The positive spin for Michigan State, 48.375, coming off of the weekend against Michigan, where they had only recorded 46 and some change there in their score last weekend. Floor results for Iowa there, Emma Stevenson, the 9.875. We finished off with Jessa Hansen there. She recorded that 9.825 for the Gem Hawks. Going back to Michigan State, let's take a look at Serena Bumbarger, the top gymnast on the beam for Michigan State.
Nice leap series there. She did a switch leap to a straddle corner. Nice sheet jump. You have to be flexible to do that one.
As if all gymnasts aren't flexible.
And a nice gainer pike stuck dismount for Serena.
She can't wait to get back to her teammates. Serena Bumbarger recording the top score there for Michigan State. Again, you look at the team numbers here after 3 rotations with 1 to go.
Illinois is in the lead by a 10th there. Only have beam left.
A tough event to finish on. Illinois and Michigan kind of chasing each other there. Michigan goes to bars. Iowa will go to the vaults. Michigan State to the floor. Just gonna shop around here and take a look at these warm-ups from all the different events, from all 4 events. Take a look inside Illinois. Practicing on the beam. Looking ahead to regionals, the NCAA regionals, be held at 6 different sites, Kylie, across the country. Actually, Illinois will be hosting one of those regionals. Sites also include Arkansas, Auburn, North Carolina, State, Utah, and Washington.
A couple of them that are pretty far out there. A little bit of a disadvantage if you get placed in that regional and have to travel 3 time zones.
Go into that a little bit with the regional qualifying scores and how important even this meet is for the regional meet.
This meet even could potentially knock off one of your lower scores that you are counting in your RQS right now. So everyone, if they're not fighting for a championship, they're fighting for an high score for their RQS to get placed in the best regional they can that could advance them to the national competition.
Where's the Big Ten ranked nationally? The only conference to have more teams represented in the top 25 is the SEC with 7. Big Ten, Pac-12 each have 6. So together, all 3 of those conferences representing basically 19 of the top 25 teams in the country. And I know you don't look really at seedings as a gymnast, but in terms of the competitiveness of the conference, I think that measures it fairly well.
When it comes to regional placement, seeding is how they do that. So it is important, but only this time of the year.
Taking a look at Katie Zurales of Michigan. We head over to the bars.
Katie has a very dynamic routine here. She does a blind full pirouette into a Delchev. Bail handstand, very pretty lines from Katie. And we'll see her with a double layout dismount. Nails the landing. Awesome first routine for Michigan on bars. I hope that gets everyone in the corral right now fired up.
I think it does. Michigan chasing Illinois here in the final rotation.
Stuck double layout, opens up at the right time, and she knows exactly where she is.
How good of a year has she had? Well, she set best on the vault, bars, floor, and all around this year. Amber C over for Illinois on the beam. 2 second place finishes here this year.
Already had a 9-9 today on vault. Here goes her flight series, back handspring, solid layout step out.
Third on the team with 11 individual titles.
Nice loop series there. Their season high this year on beam is a 49.175. Back layout, step out, little balance check.
But you look confident in that balance check.
She's competing with confidence here. Nice straddle, 3/4. Gets ready for her dismount, cartwheel into a gainer full, step dismount. Beautiful routine from Amber.
leadoff spot, a solid performance for Amber C.
Lets the full lift in the air before she twists and nails it.
Amber C leading things off positively there for Illinois, who's so far pacing everyone else here in this afternoon session.
Next on bars for Michigan, Sachi, Sugiyama.
Illinois really finishing the regular season on fire. Back-to-back meets. They have won. Coming off that season high, which you had mentioned, the State of Illinois Classic. Go over to the vault. Jessa Hansen live.
Jessa has a unique vault of front handspring pike. Most girls, when they do the Yurchenko, they're doing a round off onto the board. She's going forwards and does a front handspring onto the table. There you are. 2 front handsprings, pike front, overdoes it a little bit, has to take that lunge out of it.
And the vault was one of the events really she really had to work back towards because of the injury that she had here in the preseason.
Last time we were here in Iowa against Penn State, she wasn't in the vault lineup.
Well, she's got the best fan in the house.
I would say so.
I'll tell you that. Speaking of fans, there they are, a handful of Spartan fans.
That's Jackie Berg's parents. I know them.
She's a senior here watching their daughter perform for the last time. Moments ago, Emma Willis for Iowa back on the vault.
Nice Yurchenko forward, and she sticks it.
Iowa has momentum and not letting go of it. Larissa Libby kind of gave me a smile before this thing started. She said, "We are ready." I guess they are.
Just using everything they're doing on each event and taking it with them to the next.
Emma Willis recording a 9.825. We saw Jessa Hansen. She gets a 9.775 on the vault. Sandwiched in between there for Iowa was Sydney Hare in the second spot. She recorded a career high, a 9.850 there for the Gymhawks on the vault, who have pretty good turnout here. I guess you would expect that here hosting your own meet.
And I'm sure it will only get bigger with the evening session to come.
Yeah, we talked to all the coaches here yesterday during their warm-up sessions. There's practice routines and that sort of thing on Friday, and they all said, you know what, we are going to come back and watch here in the evening session.
There's always something to learn.
There's always something to learn, absolutely. Attendance so far, 1,161 for the first of 2 sessions, and like we said, we only expect it to get bigger here for the evening session. We look at Sachi Sugiyama waiting on her turn here for the bars for Michigan.
On the floor for Michigan State, Ashley Cole.
And here she goes. Sachi starts off with the blindfold pirouette into a ginger, her release move. Nice handstands from Sachi. That's a half salto into a switch hip. She has a difficult dismount coming up, tuck full out.
And did not move an inch.
When Michigan is under pressure, they know how to get it done.
Jaclyn Kantecki for Illinois here on the beam. Didn't compete on this event for the first 4 meets. Where the junior is now.
Season high is a 9.8. Last weekend at the Illinois Classic went 9.725. Switch shape to a straddle quarter, nice leap series. And a little mistake there. That was a kick over front. Supposed to land on 1 foot. And just a little off balance. Had to tilt off to the side.
Has to regroup here to finish strong.
Only the 3rd one in the lineup, so they'll have 3 girls after her that will need to put up some good numbers in order not to count this routine.
Sarah Fiedler, Alina Weinstein, and Kelsey Joannides up after Kantecki.
Gears up for her dismount here. Back handspring layout, step out into a full twist.
Take a look back at where things went wrong here.
Maybe just starts off a little bit crooked and there's no going back.
Rachel Corcoran for Iowa moments ago on the vault.
Yurchenko full. And slight hop on the landing, but other than that, it looks great.
Heading over to Joanna Sampson on the bars for Michigan. We had watched her practice this on Friday. Hit her foot on the bar.
She did. She pulled in on a dismount and everyone was a little bit nervous. Knocked it pretty hard, and I talked to the bar coach, Scott Sherman, today, and he said, it's sore, but she'll be okay.
She's a bull, right?
She'll be okay. Went over on her first cast handstand there. Sometimes when you're trying so hard to get that handstand, you go over. Nice double layout dismount from Joanna, but she'll definitely get deducted from that beginning of the routine. Yep, she just falls over. She doesn't get off the bar. Just has to take an extra swing, turn around, and start herself back up.
And here's her dismount.
Beautiful double layout. Looks way better than the one we saw yesterday when she hit her foot on the bar.
Right. Before her, her teammate Sachi Sugiyama got a career high at 9.9 there on the bars. Heading over to Emma Stevenson here on the vault moments ago.
Emma does a Yurchenko laid out half.
Tell you what, Kylie, she recorded a career high 9.875. In fact, Iowa now has 4 career highs on this event. Sydney Hare, Rachel Corcoran, Emma Stevenson, and Maya Wickus.
Turns right off the table there and only has to take a slight step to the side. Huge distance from the table, huge height. It's a great ball.
And huge numbers for Iowa. A season high so far, 49.275 on the vault. That event is hot, hot, hot. Michigan put up big numbers. Iowa doing it now in the 4th rotation. Going back to the bars for Michigan, Shelby Gies.
Has a nice invert there from Shelby into a Takachev. Shelby has beautiful lines on this event. An awesome toe point.
Awesome.
Look at her toes. Not many gymnasts' toes look
awesome
like that when they're doing bars. And a stuck double tuck dismount. Great routine from Shelby. That's 5 down for them.
A sophomore and a captain for Michigan coming through. Maya Wickus, her one event, a transfer from Auburn. Here she goes.
Huge Yurchenko full. They are just nailing these vaults over there, using the home crowd and their comfortable atmosphere to their advantage. Nice block off the table, great potty position, and just opens up at the right time.
Tied a season high with a 9.875. Maya Wickus made the most of her one event here this afternoon, and a big squeeze. Back to the beam, Alina Weinstein, one of the 2 all-arounders here for the Illini. The Coach says she's closer to realizing her potential. Has one more year here in Champaign.
Alina went 9.85 last weekend on beam. Beautiful back handspring layout step out. Those flight series are always, of my experience, what got you the most nervous in your routine.
What about it?
It's just the flight series. It's like you're tumbling past them on the beam. Front aerial. She makes everything look so easy up there. Split 3/4.
Illinois needs some solid scores here. Dismounts.
Round off 4.5 dismount, opens a little early, which made her take that step back, but very, very clean routine from Alina. Here we see the dismount. Sets, twists, everything looks great. And has to use that foot to save herself. Body position looks great in the air, and you see her teammates in the background. They're happy with that great performance.
They knew that they needed a great performance. We'll take a look into a minute ago, just a portion of Jackie Berg's floor routine here. Coach says she loves her presentation on the floor.
Front full, punch piped front. Jackie just likes to show it off out there.
Well, you said, we talked last weekend when we saw her. You know her well. How does her personality fit her routine?
If we would have saw the whole thing, just all of the different facial expressions she gives to her teammates, to the crowd, to anybody that's on the sidelines watching her.
Yeah, she has fun with it. Going back to Kelsey Joannides, the anchor spot. All around her, she's hit 41 of her 42 routines this year. Illinois needs to have her make it 42 of 43. You mentioned her bib number there. She had to show it to judges here, judging this event.
Kelsey has the 5th most event titles in a single season for Illinois, with 18 this year.
This is her top event, tied for 6th in the nation.
Nice opening leap series there, gearing up for her flight series. Back handspring layout, step out, very solid.
Looks like she's in the zone. This is why Illinois has her in the anchor spot. In case they need this solid score, they do from Joannides.
She can definitely handle the pressure.
She recorded a 4th best beam score in school history.
Front aerial combination. All she has left here is the dismount. Cartwheel into a gainer full, and she nails it. They definitely don't have to count that mistake they had earlier in the lineup. Illinois is happy about that.
Make it 42 of 43 hit routines this season here for Kelsey Joannides.
This concludes our final rotation.
See it. Her dismount here.
Move to the floor exercise.
Kicks, sets, twists, and sticks it.
And sticks it.
Your teams to the floor exercise until called. Thank you.
Oh man, coming through big time. Joannides did. That'll wrap things up here in the afternoon session. 4 rotations down. We're going to come back. We'll wrap things up for you when we return. So 4 rotations rotations down here in the first session, the afternoon session. We just saw seeds 5 through 8 compete. Again, we'll have that evening session coming up later tonight. Here's crunching the numbers. Come up with the results here after this 4th and final rotation. Start out with Michigan there on the, that's after the 3rd rotation. Here we go. Update the update. Vault results after 4th rotation. Man, Iowa, some big numbers.
They were sticking everything over there. Maya and Emma and Rachel with 9.875.
How about 3 career highs and tying a season high there for Iowa? Heading on over to Michigan and the bars. Katie Zurales, Shelby Gies, a pair of 9.8s.
Stephanie, I believe, competing bars for one of her first times, 9.775.
Beam for Illinois. We saw that solid routine by Kelsey Joannides at 9.9.
Once Jaclyn had her little mistake there, everybody kind of stepped it up a bit and knew what they had to do to walk away with a solid beam score.
Yeah, Joannides and Fiedler, a couple of those gymnasts who had to follow suit. Dani Levy, 9.850. They're on the floor after the 4th rotation. Jackie Berg not too far behind. So after 4 rotations here, our Alpha Factor athlete, Kelsey Joannides from Illinois. Here's a couple clips from her work here this afternoon.
She just was on fire tonight. She had a great performance, was solid and consistent all around.
Tied her career high on the beam with the 9.9. A 9.825 on bars, a 9.8 on the floor. Kelsey Joannides is getting a season high at 9.875 there on the vaults. Remember, that's not a final result because they will tally what goes on here in the afternoon session to what goes on here in the evening session. Kelsey Joannides, if things go her way, could be awarded the all-around championship. She'll have to show up here tonight.
Well, they all said they'll be here this evening, so they'll just have to sit back and wait and see what goes on.
We're crunching the numbers here to give you at least the update on the team totals here. Again, those are not final as well. Interesting for me to talk to some of the coaches who are competing here in the evening session. I said, how much are you going to watch this afternoon session? And they said, you know what, we have our own kind of meet routine and sort of game day routine, if you will. And they would look at the scores, but not really pay too much attention to it.
I'm sure they'll all know the score, the high score on each event. They'll all know how the teams all did today, but why come and watch when you have your own meet to worry about this evening? This has no effect on how they're going to do tonight.
8 teams competing here for the first time in conference history. Nebraska, we'll get to see them later tonight, ranked 6th in the country. After crunching the numbers, there you see Michigan was trailing a little bit with Illinois going into that final rotation, but the Wolverines leapfrogged the Alina there to lead this afternoon session in session 1 with a 195.875.
And when the evening sessions see these scores, it just puts, I guess, the pressure on them. They know the number that they have to beat tonight.
So there they have it all mapped out. Bev Plotke and her Michigan Wolverines looking for a 6-peat. Michigan has won 5 straight of these and has suffered a lot of injuries here. Sometimes they've even thrown 5 gymnasts there on events at some point here in this season. So that's going to wrap us up here in session 1 of the 2012 Big Ten Women's Gymnastic Championships. You saw there Michigan leading the way. They have set the standard, and we're going to see it tonight to see what the top 4 seeds can do. 195.875 is the score to beat. Join us right back here in Iowa City, 7 p.m. Eastern for Session 2, Nebraska, Penn State, Ohio State, and Minnesota. Kylie Kalora, I'm Lisa Byington. We'll see you later tonight.